direction. You guys have Nip favored as well here, and that was before the map pool was public.
Yeah.
So, I mean, with that, you could probably add a couple extra 5 or 10% on top of that. We'll just have to see how the cookie crumbles. The bans are live. We've got Flores already off the board. And Carter, would you like to take us through the rest of this?
I would like to take us through the rest of this. Flores off the board will make Azami a lot more impactful, so I'm interested to see if NIP decide to take her off the board because she's also just really good on Chile in general. Not surprised by the Ying ban either. It was banned in the previous matchup that NIP played in, so pretty standard for us so far. And what will NIP ban first? They saw the Flores ban. Do they decide to ban the Azami? Again, she was banned earlier on. Very smart follow-up by NIP not to let that powerful defensive operator stay on the board. And now Sandbox. They get the final ban. Will it be Fenrir? No, it'll be Solus instead. We're just chilling. We're just chilling, all things considered. This is like the Chalet op ban phase. So in a map ban sequence that was anything but predictable, or anything but favorable for Sandbox, the ban phase, I genuinely think this is like the optimal operator ban phase for Chalet.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you. I think that Flores is definitely the auxiliary, right? You can switch him out for whatever offender you're really feeling. Personally, I'd say Dokkaebi kind of fits in that slot really well too. A couple of other things, but it's really going to be difficult to try and move away from that Flores ban, right? He's just so damn good at clearing out deployable shields and all of these other odds and ends the defense really likes to use specifically on the top floor.
Well, yeah, Chalet is just a map that revolves so much around power positions, and if you want to talk about that top floor specifically, I mean, the three big ones, library, stairs, mezzanine, piano. 2 of those always have a deployable shield. 1 of those, mezzanine, sometimes you see a deployable shield, sometimes you don't. Those are all great opportunities for a Flores to use those Rotero drones, detonate those deployable shields, and make the attack have a lot more potential success when they start moving in the map. So, of course, without the Flores, but also on the side of Sandbox, without any deployable shields on Master Bedroom and Office, NIP's task to clear out that, well, they actually do have 1 deployable shield, sorry, I misread that. So they do have 1, but still, there's plenty of explosive utility on the side of NIP to deal with that.
Yes, indeed, especially with the fact that nowadays Gridlock has frag grenades, so she can easily dislodge those too. And we still have that Gon 6 more than likely in the back pocket of Khan's and potentially Wizard's hands as well. So this is just modern day Siege, isn't it, Lynx? There's so many different ways that you can try and solve these puzzles.
As you said, the Gridlock frag grenades, of course, even in terms of soft destruction, you got the Super Shorty as well.
I didn't know if they pulled that out from under her. I forgot. So did they take her Gon away? Is that what it was?
It might have been that. There were a lot of utility changes this past patch, so I'm sure teams themselves are still getting adjusted to everything. I mean, the Frost mat change as well in terms of our primary utility. Saw on the A stream actually. It didn't end up winning the round, but Talon player did find themselves in a Frost mat, did pick themselves back up. Right now, nobody's stepping into a Frost mat just yet. NIP have moved into the middle floor over inside a bar. Also find some defenders from Sandbox moving around library. Again, this is NIP. The action's probably not going to happen for another 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, you can tell by the cadence in our voice, right, that usually it takes a while to heat things up here for Nip. We're expecting a slow boil, but instead it's going to be Sandbox trying to send it towards Ninjas in Pajamas, who are practically playing defense on offense right now. They're trying to just defend the library, and it's working so well for them. Sandbox, they're just donating bodies to the cause. Ninjas in Pajamas are stacking the martyrs left and right. Demic, are you feeling it too? You are. It's a flawless to start us off here.
That was a quick one.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it was. Just kind of threw themselves on the pyre there, huh?
I'm sitting there. I'm like, all right, got Chalet. It's Master Bedroom Office attack. Where are NIP starting? Oh, they're starting library side. Very normal side to start. We're fine so far. Oh, the round's over. Isn't that excellent? Because Pino's just down below. He's like, somebody's mezzanine. I know what I'll do. I'll do an up nade, because those are very good. And it works out. Good job, NIP. And then we start spinning out of control a little bit, because Sandbox are really holding this library side. They really want to defend it, and unfortunately, they are completely outgunned by NIP. Khan just vaults in the single window and kills the other guy, Mezzanine, and Sandbox just lose the plot at that point. So, not a great first round, but Shelly is an attacker-sided map, and hopefully for Baron Games, which has basically, like, the default setup, is the way to defend this site. Sandbox should be okay.
You kill me sometimes, Linkcifer.
I have my moments.
Yeah, you're a funny guy.
It's the snake. What should I name him?
Slime.
It's horrible.
That was up, Slime.
It's horrible nature snake.
See, you clearly don't get it, bro.
I don't get it.
Are you my Slime?
Yeah, dab me up.
That's my boy.
That's the kid.
That was a clean dap, though.
I'm built like that.
That was a good lock. Everything. Lock, stock, and barrel all the way through. Not for Sandbox, though.
Nope.
They're just looking for the stock right now. I mean, they're just trying to find the initial piece here to put the gun together.
The barrel's somewhere on Villa at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's on Consulate. We'll see if we can get all the way over there. Take a long, unexpected journey.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what it ends up being. Of course, this being Bar and Games, where will NIP start? Some teams go for the library direct take. Psycho at the moment, trying to cut off some players moving around bathrooms, so we'll likely see an entry over on the Solar Stairs style. Solar Stairs. Hold up.
That's a tongue twister. I'm not going to
Solar Stairs side.
You got it.
Yes.
Beautiful. That was a tongue twister. I can't blame you.
Ironically enough, the very player I was talking about, Wizard, is now on the master bedroom top. Different position.
Wizard, the gizzard lizard.
I was about to say, King Wizard, the nipple lizard.
No, just
okay,
no.
I tried.
Just no.
Sorry.
Although great band, as we are on the sidebar here. But Ninjas in Pajamas, finally, we were expecting this, as we were hoping for. The good clearance going about halfway through the round. The drone phase working swimmingly for Ninjas in Pajamas to be expected, and I mean, just proof of concept there as Nova goes down.
And they've got Z-Pings on Demic as well.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Hats off to Demic winning that fight. That was not one he should have won whatsoever. And, well, he's taken down pretty soon after. 2 up nades now for Pino, 2 rounds in a row. They do end up dropping a body where I don't think NIP needed to. Demic just overperforming a little bit, shutting down cons. But it's working out for the attack so far, achieving that 4v3. Pino puts a bit of reduced HP as he vaults down onto the trench position. But Sandbox holding strong for the moment, just at a disadvantage.
Oh. Wizard, a little scared off from the drone there as it impacts sails into his vicinity. It's not going to do much damage, but it'll be enough to at least dislodge him from his drone for the time being. Psycho is going to lose one of his breaching rounds. It won't deal any damage to him, but it's going to be something that he wished that he had back to potentially deal with some things down the line.
Wow,
Oh, do we have anything to clear? Can I yell at you? Technically, Moosey does, but I'm not going to be too harsh. It smokes, and he's all the way in, across God's green earth here.
That was a Selma taken. That was 2 breaching charges taken. Breaching rounds taken. I will say, you're up at a 4v2, right? This is the time to make mistakes, but definitely not ideal util clear from NIP. But here's what Sandbox have so far. Is it a 2v4? Yes, but shockingly, we're low on time. Who would have thought? And Mephi has the bottom library stairs position. He's creeped all the way down. That leaves Arukaze in a bit of a difficult position at the moment, holding it down inside of the site. So he's got to win these next couple 1v1s. But then more importantly, Mephi's position on bottom blue has got to work out. One pushing the long hallway. Wizard checks the angle. He finds one, but not the second. Arukaze holding out just for a little bit. Psycho's got to put this bomb down. Moosey has to cover. Arukaze creeps around, might just find him. No, he's on the opposite side of the bar. Now both guns back alive for NIP. Will Arukaze find one? He sees him at least, but doesn't get the kill. 2 rounds in a row for NIP, though that one pretty close down to the wire.
Yeah, and done with the super shorty there at the tail end, too. Little Brava action, something that we usually see out of the gridlock, especially as she's starting to work into more lineups, right? But Sandbox, I mean, for all intents and purposes, they did have an opportunity, and it actually got a heck of a lot closer than I think you and I both thought it was going to get to. But the Blue Stairs player really being the piece of that puzzle that made it doable for Sandbox, just not really getting enough done early on in that defensive set there to be able to get things going their way for round 2. But that doesn't mean that things can't change up for round 3. They're already starting to make some semblance of changes to try and slow things down on their end and keep things more open when it comes to that last 30 seconds.
Though by the same token, looking at Sandbox, Mira, Fenrir, Warden.
Yep.
So many operators who in the mid to late round can just say, nope, you can't come in. Can't come in. Not allowed. We'll see what NIP decide to bring to counter it, of course.
I think this is a true test for Sandbox, too, to try to just test their mettle, see if they can actually slow themselves down and just hold the site.
Which again, for NIP, we saw Geek earlier. Plenty of rounds that they just said, we're not peeking. We're not peeking. We're just going to hold our position. Maybe we'll roam, maybe we'll extend, but we're not going to peek.
Oh!
That's crazy.
Yeah, yo.
That's crazy. Good boy. Good kitty.
Yo, Psycho, take a seat, bro. Oh my god.
Dude, Mephi whiffed an entire mag, and Good Boy was like, I'm gonna show you how it's done. Pino does trade it back though. That's so annoying. Sandbox got a freebie on the hard breach, and Nova dies. That's very unfortunate. I'm sorry, Good Boy.
All because Nip do the most Nip thing ever, just grab an angle on trophy.
Dude, can you believe Pino got a kill just grabbing an angle?
I actually can believe that.
I can believe it too.
I can indeed. Ninjas in Pajamas are able to equalize off the back of a pretty odd opening there.
That's the ace, to be fair.
And yeah, it is. But the beauty of the situation for Nip is that they have thought about the situation, and it's a good thing they did, because they really need Cons for this now, as he is going to be the main hard breach and the sole hard breach of this team.
Pretty focused on a wine-sided execute now, though. Just use both of those exothermics, which it seems like NIP probably were fine with doing anyway. Before, they'd probably dedicate one of those hard breaching to the snowmobile wall to have someone hold that angle and relieve some pressure. Now you maybe won't have that. You'll have to decide you want to open up that and the wine wall, or the wine wall and the wall at the bottom of West main stairs. You don't have the same freedom you did before now that you have lost Psycho, but with that Thatcher, at least with those EMPs, whatever wall you decide to get, more than accomplishable.
Is that Nitro Cell out for Arakaze that he's kind of pre-placing there? Pino's going to be able to at least get one as he sails pretty close to the sun, but he'll be gifted instead of burned. Arakaze does have one of those Rotero drones or other Twitch drones around him. So many drones nowadays. Arakaze going to do his best to shut this down, but Pino's got the exact location that he wants to try and play this out from. He can get solid info, get rid of some of the more pivotal pieces of utility, and it's going to be up to Sandbox to try and deliver on their promise. Mephi's going to be up first, but he's just scared about the situation, Lynx. You can tell he doesn't actually want to get that swing, and that's exactly what Cons is looking for. Cons is assertive, and that's what gets it done. Ninjas in Pajamas, they're just waiting for an error. And I just really don't like that swing, man.
I don't like
if
it
you're
either.
not confident in it, just don't go for it.
No, and especially when you're holding blue, right? You know, now that they've opened the wine wall and the west main wall, you know what side it's coming from. They literally, you killed their, I mean, maybe they didn't see their hard breacher, right? But at that point, you know if they...
About our own boring lives, which no one wants to hear about.
I think my life's
talking
interesting.
About some interesting stuff.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. No, it's not that interesting. I'm happy, though, because we do get to get back in the game. If you're just tuning in, two big updates. NIP up 3-0, and, of course, Talon were eliminated on the mainstream. CAG demolished them. Fortunately, there are first-team Talon are to go home from the Copenhagen Major. And right now, in this best of three, Sam, we are deciding who the second unfortunate team to be eliminated as well. And right now, 3 rounds in, NIP okay so far, but, of course, 2 out.
Yeah, Sandbox are kind of throwing themselves down the chute right now. But we'll see. We'll see. They haven't hit the ground floor just yet.
True.
But, I mean, there is a lot of potential, and it's very worrisome. And we are not going to, undermine that at all. Because right now, with the tech break, with their own tactical timeout, this really is do or die for them, which is insane to even think about because we played 4 rounds in a best of 3. But welcome to it. This happens sometimes.
Indeed, it does. Site in round 4 will be kitchen and dining. I think actually that's all 4 bomb sites played. First 4 rounds. Round 1 was office. Round 2 was bar. Round 3 was basement. Round 4 is kitchen. Yep. Ain't that swell? Thank you, Sandbox. I appreciate that. I love it when teams show some flexibility like that. They haven't won a round so far, though, so hopefully this one will be a little bit better than the other ones were for Sandbox. They, of course, had quite a long period of time to at least ruminate on their problems. They got a minute to talk about it because of the tactical timeout, but then a lot of tech pauses, and you can't talk during those. So
yeah, then they had time to marinate.
Yeah, just alone with your thoughts. And if you're Sandbox, if the tactical timeout didn't work, you might just be ruminating in a lot of anxiety. Or, if the tactical timeout did work, you have a renewed mindset.
Yo, retweet on the first one, though. Let me tell you. Ruminated about stress. I would never. No. Ninjas in Pajamas. They start opening things up and looking to repeat the success that we saw from that earlier round where he had a pretty awkward pick happen out the front end of the building where Good Boy was able to actually hit quite the lick. Ninjas in Pajamas responded in kind, though, with Pino able to get a nice shot over on the trophy side of things. Pick up a Sandbox player, equalize things, and, well, the scoreline will tell you the rest of the story. Cons and everybody else inside the building now, and Ninjas in Pajamas, especially for their pacing, this is very fast. They're going to blow open this top wall and try and transition this into Fireplace. This is the traditional way to take this site. Sometimes we'll see some players, maybe one or potentially two, go over the trophy side, trying to add that secondary dynamic and see if they can get some pressure on the back end of the defensive setup, but it doesn't have to be done. It's going to be a Nitro sell out. It's actually going to catch Cycle, but it won't kill him.
It will not kill him. Still go. Oh, that's a little too close for comfort. Got to make sure the electricity does not get you, because Psycho's on low enough HP that if it were to activate, it might get him, but the EMPs land, thankfully, and now both walls NIP need to worry about on this bomb site are opened up, but it's taken 2 minutes and 5 seconds of the round to get there. Now, thankfully on Kitchen and Dining, you don't need to take control of the entire top floor. As you said, you might add somebody up there, add somebody in Trophy later on in the round, but most of your utility, your resources are focused over here. Cons unshields, takes down Good Boy right after Arakaza cut down Pino, and the HP pool is pretty equal on both of these teams. Psycho does get another, though. NIP advantage acquired, but it doesn't seem there are any players from the attack actually standing on this top floor at the moment, or at least in a position to watch these defenders, so Arakaza can push up, hold these angles to deny the Monty from getting the bomb down. This is a very winnable position for Sandbox.
Yeah, it really is. And there's no cover, really, for Cons right now. He knows he's got one over here inside the kitchen, but the hatch is open. Very minimal time, too. Little switch. Cons, what the hell was that? I've never even seen that in my life. He doesn't even ADS with the shield. He puts it on his damn back. Oh, my God. Nip, there's no way. Cons is going to get this case down inside of the kitchen. Muzi has the cross. Muzi's dead. The plant, it's successful. But, my God. What a moment there from Cons. I'm at a loss for words. My boy is praying to my left right now, folks. I don't even think Carter can utter a sentence right now after what we just witnessed. And the fact that Ninjas in Pajamas passed that, Carter, they lost the damn round. What the hell is happening?
I genuinely cannot believe Cons put his shield on his back, got put to 1 HP, and then turned around and hipfire killed him. What, did he hipfire kill him, or was it ADS?
It was ADS, but still...
Oh, that play doesn't matter then. That's fine.
I mean, but still, to the credit of the play, he straight up pulled a Clash hurdle on a character that you don't even have to do it on. You just ADS and the shield is still in front of you! I like... What? Why? Why?
That was incredible, though. I mean, like, that's play of the day for me right there. I didn't care they didn't win the round.
I'm in the same boat. Yeah, I was just like, that round, Sandbox, you know.
That was like, that was the Rainbow Six equivalent of simp throwing the up.
Yeah.
It's like, you didn't need to do that.
You really didn't need to do that, but you did. You did. The only difference is that, well, Simple won the round with this play.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, he did. He did that,
shout out to Simple. Hopefully he's enjoying his break. So.
Yeah. But now, Sandbox do get their first round on the board. It came from a very, very lopsided back and forth round, but they get their first. Kitchen and Dining works out. Now's the time to take some of the lessons from the tactical timeout and apply them retroactively, or not retroactively, but to bomb sites you have already played. As every other bomb site on the map has not gone their way except Kitchen and Dining. Right now, the hold seems pretty similar. You got someone up by mezzanine, you got someone around the library stairs, so maybe the operators are a little different, but the positions being held by Sandbox are pretty much about the same as they were before. In NIP, thankfully, we'll realize that, all right, in terms of positioning, we know at this point what to expect.
Loading new mags!
Pino's already literally in the same spot.
Yep. I mean, as to be expected. Whenever you watch Nip, you're going to see... It's almost like watching VP or, you know, old Empire. It's one of those things where you just kind of see a very similar playstyle, especially in the offensive sets, and little changes that make massive impact. That's what I've noticed about Nip across time. Maybe it'll be some operator change, or maybe just somebody else clearing some other portion of the map in a different way. But either way, it's successful. And, I mean, genuinely asking you... How and why? Why?
I don't know how.
Why?
I don't know how Pino got the first kill.
The follow-up from the smoke there was so awkward too from Mephi.
Yeah, I know how Pino got Mephi. That we're all good on. Good Boy was flanking up Fireplace stairs. Thank you. Shout out to Observer for pointing that out. So Pino just looks to his right. He's like, oh, there's a dude flanking there. Turns to his left. There's a smoke pushing as well. Nova also went down in the process, the player playing on Mezzanine. So not only are Sandbox staring down the barrel of a 2v4, they've also entirely lost control of the library in Mezzanine position. And NIP, say what you will about their playstyle, they know how to reset. They know how to say, all right, let's back off, take our foot off the gas, and get everything we need before we go for this execute. So if there was any team right now best position to win this 4v2, it's probably NIP. Though right as I say that, down goes Wizard.
It was a nice find there from Demic. But here's the problem. Nip have so much time.
It's just 55 seconds. And that even then, we've been in this spot for like 40.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're so far ahead of where they usually are, right? There's 3 people dead. It's down to 2. Ninjas in Pajamas love positions like this, and this is when things get really scary. So Arakaze, you can tell that they're just trying to get anything done, trying to get ahead of Ninjas in Pajamas. But again, we go back to their very methodical, very thought-out gameplay.
Dude, so
and
good at
Demic,
these.
oh my. This moment right here on Ego Balcony is going to mean so very much to the overarching story of not only this round, but the potentiality of Chalet. Demic, do you have what it takes to get it done? Such very low HP, even a pellet out of the skeleton key gets him. He's going to swing into Psycho, and they're going to play it down to the wire again. They just don't move, Lynx. They do not move, man.
They don't.
Just statues.
All they did, all the action they really did, and when I'm talking action, I'm not talking like droning or things like that. I'm talking like physical movement, physical usage of primary and or secondary utility. The only thing that happened, well, 2 things happened. Pino used a nade that put Demic to 1 HP. They used a Selma charge to open the wall. Everything else was just rotations or finding intel. Even in a 4v2, even with a minute and 45 seconds on the clock, NIP just say, okay, we're going to do our due diligence. We're going to find all of our intel. We're going to hold the proper positions, hold the proper crossfires, play off each other's contact, and not choke this now 3v2 by the end of the round. And that is how you win tournaments. That is how you win games right there, is not throwing away those advantages. And Sandbox, I mean, to Demic's credit, tried his best, but NIP just played it better.
Yep. Ninjas in Pajamas are one of the epitomes in Rainbow Six Siege esports of how to play Siege at a fundamental level. This is exactly what you're looking to do. You're looking to use that full clock on the defense or the offensive side, right? And try and exploit that other team as much as possible, especially when you have an advantage like that. There's so many different things that can happen. There's huge moments that could happen there from Sandbox where, you know, maybe they just get a little bit too aggressive and, you know, things along those lines. Perfect example was Wamai trying to find things over on Eco Balcony, right?
Yeah.
And Nip knew that they already had so much done that Sandbox had to eventually step up to the plate, and they just had the due diligence to wait for it. So.
By the way, I think what we're seeing from Sandbox right now is like the lineup to counter NIP in terms of operators. You've got EDDs, goo mines, F-Knots, Frost. You've got so many trap ops that are entirely meant to punish teams who take too long to attack, who don't have time to clear out those dread mines on site or those EDDs on site. So I really like the lineup from Sandbox. Sure, even when they've run iterations of that lineup, it hasn't worked in the past. But again, what Sandbox are bringing is sound. It makes sense. It even makes sense to counter NIP. It's just that advantages are being lost early on. Individual engagements are being lost by Sandbox. Everything else is not going right, even if what they are doing overall makes sense. NIP are either finding ways around it or making it useless entirely.
Well, and here's the one thing. It is a great strategy, and I completely agree with everything that you said. But Muzi and Psycho have been destroying this setup already. We've just been watching these drones roll around to get rid of goo mines, get rid of EDDs.
Hack.
Exactly. Hack, break, whatever it is. They're doing it all right now. And I think that the only thing that's actually going to reside is probably going to be the F-Knots if they're inside of sight, and the mute jammers, but we'll just have to see.
Brava and Twitch being up, man, it is a lethal combo, and NIP will be very happy about that. I mean, we saw Twitch,
what a time to bring it, right?
Yeah, we saw Twitch banned earlier on Bank against NIP or banned in that game for one of that very reasons, that you don't have to worry about those mirrors getting zapped or those dread mines or EDDs getting zapped. And now with Brava and Twitch on the board, NIP have the perfect lineup to counter the lineup that counters them perfectly. That was also a tongue twister, and I nailed it. Shout out to me. But at this point, a minute left. 5v5. And for Sandbox, the important positions, library stairs, library itself, not cleared by NIP just yet. A lot of the angles, a lot of the positions that Sandbox need are very much still intact.
Well, folks, they don't call him the Cast and Links for nothing. Talking cat. Incredible. Good Boy's going to be able to take down Psycho. Speaking of cats, that beautiful player card that they all run for the SB boys. Wizards going to be able to refrag onto Good Boy, though. 30 seconds remaining, and this is where things get very dangerous for the exact reasons that you're talking about. Moosey's going to hop into a Frost Trap on the top floor, but welcome to modern day C. She's been updated, and you can now break those off. But Moosey's now going to be a singular bullet away from death. Wizards is going to take down Nova. It's up to Demic and Mephi, and they have to try and hold them at the gates for 15 seconds so that they cannot find a place to put this case. Demic will be the first one to strike, but Mephi will go down in kind. Demic does have an opportunity, but they have the full breadth of games under their belt, as well as Bar's stock. It's going to be really difficult for him to try and work this out. He did have a Nitro Cell too, but there's really nowhere for him to try and pitch that in, especially with that angle being played from Ninjas in Pajamas. Once again, just showcasing how important managing that clock is.
And also showing that even if you're low on the clock, if you just have people who can hit their shots, who can make sense of the chaos in front of you, or supply them with the intel to make sense of it, they can get the job done. Because, I mean, 15 seconds left, you see plenty of teams get kind of caught up in that. It gets really chaotic, ends up in a 1v1 that just barely goes one way. But for NIP, they were winning every single one of those fights. Cons walks down library, gets a kill. Somebody walks up the long hallway, gets another kill. NIP are just able to win those fights so consistently. And even on Bank, they were able to do it a decent amount of the time, even if sometimes it didn't go their way. That was still one of the strengths that they had on Bank earlier against Geeky, was the ability to win 50-50 engagements, even if Geeky were able to punish them a lot more than Sandbox were able to on this defensive half that we just saw in Chile. And now going to the attack, NIP so close to a regulation win.
Yeah, and you know, I really think that just goes to show, and it really stands as a testament as to what Geeky was able to pull off, right? Because Ninjas in Pajamas, their specialty, Carter, what I always look at this kind of setup like, is a very slow coil around the site and around the map, right? They slowly constrict things down. I know you have the snake on, which just makes it hilarious. Yes, yes, you did. But yeah, no, just like an anaconda, man, they're constantly constricting things, but nice and slow. They don't want the victim to freak out too much. But right when it matters most, that's when they got the death blow. And it constantly works for them. We saw it work up against Geeky sometimes too, but just right now, it's on full display.
And remember, folks, this is NIP's map pick. So in terms of the theory, NIP should win this one, and Sandbox should win their next one. So
I'm still so blown away that Sandbox picked defense to start off Chalet.
I'm still blown away that they picked Oregon.
Yeah, yep, man.
We'll just have to hope that that pick ages far better than we think it will, but still time to come back on Chalet. Still time to come back in this series. Sandbox, of course, now moving to the attacking side. Do have the Brava and the Twitch available, as you and I talked about. And given the fact that there's F-Knots on the board, you will want to bring that Brava to hack as many of those as you can, alongside just the default cams to act as... Ooh.
Pretty
It's
lights.
okay. It's okay. All happens. That's why you got 3.
Indeed. We can clear all those out. Nice. Very well done indeed. The going 6 out 2 to be able to break that down. Capitao. Solid utility nowadays. It always did have great utility, but that going 6 just adds that extra sprinkle on top to allow him to break up some of these harder points of contact that the defense can build up against the opponent. It's going to make it to where Moosey has to worry a little bit more about him crossing over into the Master Closet. Psycho looking to try and deliver things over on the Solarium side. Oh no, Mephi, he swings in. Is anybody aware of this situation at all? They are.
Wow.
It's going to be a huge dub for Nip. You've got to be kidding. They're going to take out practically everybody, all in that happenstance. Like, legitimately, I didn't even think there was that many Sandbox bodies in the way to get.
I didn't think there were either. Like, I'm going to keep it real. I saw the Finka inside. I was like, all right, 5v4. Oh, 5v2? Okay, and not only were all those bodies inside of the building, I mean, it was like 3 defenders from NIP running in front of bedroom window where Sandbox were holding, solar window where Sandbox were holding, solar stairs where Sandbox were holding, and nobody was able to get a kill. They were able to do some damage. Moosey lost some HP, but nobody died. No trades whatsoever. Sandbox had all the angles they needed, and it's somehow a 2v5.
Yeah. I think we're really entering. I think we're entering that Nip has broken Sandbox territory.
Oh.
I'm going to break you on my wheel.
I'm going to break you
on my wheel.
I was quoting Rocky.
Yeah?
I don't know what you were quoting.
I don't know.
Okay.
Something. Sometimes I just make it up.
That's
and
a
I
cute
lie.
squirrel.
I eat hot chip and
I
lie.
should make sure my snake doesn't get near it.
Yeah, probably so.
That wasn't so. It was not a great round.
No, it wasn't.
It was.
And I love how you're just like playing with the snake because you just really don't. And I don't know either what to say about this because it's like, you know, what we were just referencing. I know we were kind of joking, but truthfully, Ninjas in Pajamas has tortured Sandbox,
Yeah.
like to a point where Sandbox is just in pure freefall.
It's everything Sandbox had in that round was like, I mean, maybe there were some issues, but specifically the angles they were holding, they had everyone in the right positions. The util clear, the master bedroom window was solid, allowed them to open that council barricade, caught up anybody rotating through
I'm
piano.
so terrified for Oregon. I'm sorry. Like I forgot and then I remembered again. It's just
that's a whole other can of worms when we get there. But everything Sandbox did was fine. They had someone master bedroom windows, someone solar windows, someone solar stairs to trade out the Finca, and just
5 seconds left.
nobody traded.
yeah.
I genuinely don't know how. Like
The biggest criminal activity was, I believe, Pino or no, Muzi getting across from the master closet
He ran in
over
front
to
of,
the
like, 8
fireplace, and the guy sends like 10 shots and nicks him once.
yeah,
It's like,
he sends like 10 shots. He
Oh.
runs in front of 2 windows, and then he somehow kills the Finca.
just
Like I'd be losing my mind if I were that Finca. I was like, what are you guys watching?
yeah, no, legitimately, and that's not even like a joke. It is legitimately like, guys, that is a shot that you need to hit. It's
Yeah.
not like, oh, well, it could have been nice.
And
that's critical.
And especially because, and now to be fair, this is a little bit of a problem with Capital, because you pull out the crossbow, you shoot your bolt, then you got to put it away to pull your gun back out. So it's a little awkward, but they put the firebolts in that hallway. We're just going to be talking about this round this entire time. They put the firebolts in that hallway. He was waiting for it. He was waiting for that rotation, and he missed it. Either way, that round's done. We could talk about that for a long time, but now Sandbox, 5 rounds necessary to come back and bring this to overtime. Wizard, nice pickup on the Twitch drone. It is a dining defense at the moment for NIP. Not holding library, fully focused on the master bedroom and the office positions. I think 4 defenders upstairs.
Well, we've got the Monty in too, but how's Mephi going to play around it? He's kind of, guys, Carter.
He didn't. They did not team kill.
Carter.
Nova is still alive.
Oh, I want you to know, this headset would have been chucked.
He is still alive.
I can't, man. I can't right now.
He's
These
okay.
guys are stressing me the hell out. Drone's out here for Nova. Nothing really on the bottom of that, so don't have to worry too hard. Walk his way up to the breach that they made here. It's going to be Wizard on the other end of things, trying to clear out things with the stuns too. They don't have any frag grenades though, so not going to be able to dislodge him in that regard. Also, obviously no Capital either. Nova's going to go down. A nice find there from Wizard is he's going to hit it on the transition. Mephi will be able to take out one. It's a 3 versus 2 in favor of the defense, and the case is all the way down inside of office currently. Mephi's going to work his way around piano. If they do end up losing this round, this is going to be a 7-1, and we'll be heading towards Oregon. 3-1 now. It's all left up to Demic. He at least knows where 1 is, potentially on the rotation. Do remember, it's actually a downstairs bomb site. It's going to be the kitchen defense that wins it out for Ninjas in Pajamas, but really, it was Ninjas in Pajamas